Today's video is sponsored by Kunai Threads. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Johnny TCG video. I hope this video finds you well. I'm excited to be talking about Blackbeard today. This leader I've been having a lot of fun with. Let's take a look at the new deck list I'm running. Not much has changed since my first video. Boom, we'll put it up on screen and in the description. Because I already did a video, I don't think I really need to do a deep deck list breakdown today because we only really changed a couple things. We changed a little bit of the ratios with the events, the stages and whatnot. We cut down on a Vasco shot and then also cut the 2K blocker Bartolomeo completely. In his place, we put down Sasaki. Sasaki, I've seen people testing him online. I feel like he fits the vibe of Blackbeard a little bit better. Maybe I'm crazy because I'm only running 2 small chump blockers then, which might not be enough. But with Sasaki's ability of being able to rest him and then rest a Don and then give one of your opponent's characters -2, you can synergize that very well with a Doc Q, with a Finger Pistol, with a Van Augur, and then a 4-cost Black Hole. The list is endless. This deck list loves lowering the cost of opponents' characters, and I feel like Sasaki fits in pretty well with it, so that's why I made the swap. But of course, more testing can always be determined. If you're running something in your Blackbeard deck that I'm not, I would love to hear your thoughts. I see some people running Jack. Jack feels a little bit awkward to me at times, but hey, if you're running it and have success, definitely let me know in the comments down below because I want to hear that, you know? Again, I'm not going to do a deep deck breakdown this video. Watch my other video, which will be in the description down below. I would definitely recommend watching my first video just so you get a better sense of how this deck works. Even if you don't like Blackbeard, I think it's worth watching because even if you don't like a deck, you should probably know how it works just so that when you're playing against it, you can plan against their potential moves. When you know what another deck wants to do and what their curve usually looks like, you're able to play against that deck so much better. And so my 2 cents of advice, which might not be worth anything, is just learn about decks even if you don't like them because that'll help you beat them. Hypothetically. Maybe not. Maybe you'll still get hit with 4 Blackbeards in a row and you can't do anything about that, but hey, it is what it is. Before we get into our games of Shanks and Purple Luffy, we do have a giveaway today. I always have a giveaway for you. In my last video, I said, hey, does anyone care about the giveaways anymore? But people said, yes, we do like the giveaways. Give us more custom leaders. And so the people have spoken and I will return the favor. Today's video, we're going to be giving away a custom Blackbeard leader using art from the Treasure Cruise game. I am not the artist. I am not selling it. It's just a fun personal project of mine. In order to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is 2 things. 1, leave a like, and 2, leave a comment. If this video gets 15 likes in the first 24 hours, that's all. 15 likes in the first 24 hours. I will send it to 1 US-based commenter completely free. All you have to do is 1, leave a like, and 2, leave a comment. And if you feel so inclined, if you like the content, if you appreciate what I'm doing, hit the subscribe button down below. It means the world to me. My girlfriend said that if we do not get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year, she's throwing out all my One Piece cards, and I love this game. I don't want her to throw them out. So consider hitting that subscribe button down below. It means a lot. Now, before we get into the gameplay, big announcement. For the first time ever, we do have a sponsor on the channel. Today's video is sponsored by Kunai Threads. Kunai Threads does anime t-shirts, playmats, even pickleball paddles if you're into pickleball. I know there's got to be one person in the audience that wants to play pickleball using a Doflamingo paddle. From now until the 25th, they are doing a 20% off sale for the holidays. Click on that link in my bio. Check them out. They recently sent me a Blackbeard one and I absolutely love it. I'll throw it on screen. Thank you to Kunai Threads for sponsoring this video. Now you're tired of me yapping. Let's roll the gameplay. That was cringe. Editor, you gotta take that out. I swear, if you don't take this out, you're getting fired right before the holidays too. Our first game of the day is going to be against the red hair Shanks. This matchup you're going to see a lot in OP09. They are going to be going second. I believe that is the preferred curve for Shanks. So we are going to be going odd. We start out with the Lafitte search. That's a good turn 1 play. And going into turn 2, I think we might take the Shuryu just because it's another 2K. And then I'm debating to swing, but that would have been a trap. If they had a Gum Gum Red Hawk, they would have been able to KO my Lafitte for free. We're not going to swing. We're just going to play down the Doc Q. We might be able to combo this with Van Augur next turn. They end up swinging into the Lafitte. I got to let that go. And they still leave 2 Don up. This could, again, be for a Red Hawk. That makes me really hesitant to swing into their life at all. I'm thinking that maybe I just play the Van Augur here and pass to them without even swinging. There's no point in swinging 5,000 into Shanks because if they have their leader ability still, they can just make it a 4,000 swing. So we'll do that. We'll play down the Van Augur. We might be able to combo something next turn, which would be interesting. With 6 down up for them, we could see a Yasab, we could see a Marco, we could see a Portgas Diaz. They're going to start with a 6,000 swing into my life, which I'll take, and we will take the Jesus Burgess off the This Is My Time trigger. We always love a good trigger event. And then for 5 down, they're going to play down the Portgas Diaz from starter deck 15. That cannot be removed by KO effects. I'm not exactly sure if it can still be removed if I play the 4-cost Black Hole that negates its effect. I need to look into that because that would be good to know. We're going to start with 6,000 with Van Augur into their life. Then we're going to do another search and find the 10-cost Blackbeard. That is a great find off the event. Now I'm debating on how much I should swing for. I'm thinking that I do 6 with Blackbeard, which they'll use leader ability probably and bring it down to 5 and give me maybe a 1k, or maybe they'll just take it. And then go for 4, maybe do Jesus Burgess, leaving 1 down up for Sasaki I can develop and help me remove a character next turn potentially. I really like the Jesus Burgess here. I will use my leader ability so that they can't do any on-play effects. For Shanks, I think you're pretty safe to wait until later in the game once they get to like 7, 8, 9 Dawn to start using your leader ability. Because now if they have a Silver Israeli, they won't be able to interact with my board. They won't be able to interact with my board with a Ben Beckman and so on. So they could swing into my Van Augur, and I would be happy to let that go because we are able to draw a card on the KO of Van Augur. They're going to start with a 6,000 swing into my life. I'm leaning towards taking this just because I could use some more cards in hand. I'm going to need to be able to trash at least 1 card per turn for leader ability. So we'll take this hit and see what we get. We get another 10-cost Blackbeard. I'm cool with that. Now 6,000 at us. This one I'm debating countering out of. They will still have 7 down to work with, which might be a Ben Beckman, even though they can't use their effect. We'll take this one and we get the Liberation. The trigger doesn't really do anything for us right now. And yes, they played on the Ben Beckman just on its own. 9 down for us to work with, and I am going to really try to remove both of these characters this turn. We're going to start Operation Remove Board with Sasaki's ability, resting him and a Don to minus Ben Beckman by 2. We use the Finger Pistol to trash the top 2 cards of our deck and KO the Ben Beckman. Now it's just getting rid of the Portgas Diaz. We're going to rest Van Augur using Van Augur's ability to give -3 to the ace, and then that'll put him in range of the Black Hole event. And I guess Black Hole does work against ace where they can't use their ability, so that's good for us, even though it definitely would have been cleared anyway. Now we'll do 5,000 into lead. They just use their leader ability to minus our leader swing to 4. No counter needed. And now we'll do 8 with our Jesus Burgess, is what I would have said if I didn't cancel that swing. I decide not to swing with the Jesus Burgess just because I want to keep it alive for the following turn. And even though I will use my leader ability to prevent their on plays, if they have a rush card, I do not want the Jesus Burgess to die. They're going to do 5,000 into Sasaki. I will give them that. And then I'd expect a 10-drop Shanks here. Yep, there we go. 10-drop Shanks. Will they go into life or will they go into board? They will go for the board, and that is okay with me. We get to draw a card off the Van Augur. Now it's late game. We're at 10 down. You know what that means, folks. It's time to start spamming out some Blackbeards. First, we're going to play 1, nullify their leader ability, prevent their Shanks from attacking next turn, and then swing 5 with our leader. That is amazing that we can nullify their leader ability and swing 5 and have it just go through. Now we'll swing big with our Jesus Burgess and they'll let that one through. They still have 4 life cards and 5 cards in hand, so we are a little ways away. We are going to use leader ability. I'm debating on who I would rather want to trash, Lafitte or Jesus Burgess. I decided to trash the Lafitte, but in hindsight I wonder about that decision. I don't think it really matters too much. Next turn our turn is accounted for with our 10-cost Blackbeard. But after that, if we do not find another Blackbeard, what am I to do? 8,000 at us. I think we should just block this here. I do not think that they're going to have a rush card for 7 Dawn. It would be very interesting if they do, though. So let's just free block here with Blackbeard and see what else happens. They will play down the Ben Beckman, can't use his on play, and then pass. This is great for us. We are in prime position. Before I swing with any of my characters, I need to play out the 10 cost Blackbeard first, just so they can't use their leader ability this turn. And when I play it out, they just rage quit, kind of. When your opponent chains back-to-back 10-drop Blackbeards, it's so demoralizing. I would have liked to have played that out, but I do think we get the W just because we've got those two 12k blockers on board, and I don't think they're really going to have any way to deal with that. In our first match, our opponent is going to get to choose the turn order. I'm not exactly sure which Luffy would prefer. I assume Luffy would prefer to go first, and that is exactly what they're going to do. This hand is pretty weird. I do have the event searcher. I do have the stage card, so I am going to mulligan. Our mulligan hand is weird as well. We have 2 Jesus Burgess, a stage, and then 2 Sasaki's. We're going to start off by doing the stage, trashing one of our Jesus Burgess, I think, or should we get rid of a finger pistol? We get rid of the finger pistol just because I'm sure we'll find another one or Liberation later. And we end up getting the Marshall D Teach, which is great. We end up leaving 1 Don open. We could have played the Sasaki down for 1 Don, but I'm not sure how much value it would have gotten right away, and it's kind of dangerous to leave on board. It's valuable as a 2k in hand, so I think I'd rather just keep it there. My opponent's going to be at 4 Don. They're just going to swing big into me. That is not ideal for them. 9,000. I just take it and I get the stage. That will be a good card to trash with the stage's ability. And I think I'm going to take the Lafitte here. I like the idea of establishing a Lafitte because it forces them to swing into it and also generates me card advantage. 4 Don would be nice to play down Jesus Burgess, but I guess I'll just wait for that. We'll start off with a 6,000 swing into their life with our leader. I feel like they might get a 2k out of this, which they do. Then we're going to play down the Lafitte, rest it to search. I do see a Van Augur, which is tempting. A stronger 2k is also tempting. We do have the Liberation, which I think in English is actually Black Hole, which is also a good choice. And we end up taking that. Now I will play the Sasaki. I'm going to likely combo the Sasaki with the Black Hole next turn. I think that's a really interesting possibility. If I can. I might not be able to get whatever they play down low enough for it to be eligible with Black Hole, but hey, we'll see what we can do. They're going to start off with a 1-cost Law Searcher. It's about time they played that. It stinks that they couldn't have seen it sooner. And they're going to get the Zoro Joro from that from starter deck 18. Swinging 5,000 into my Lafitte. Of course, I'm going to give them that. I'd be a madman to counter out of that. And now for 4 Don, they'll play the Zoro Joro Searcher. They do draw the Luffy Taro, 7-cost, so we will likely see that next turn. And then they're going to pass with 2 Dons still up. I don't imagine that 2 Don is anything really. I don't think they'd play a Gum Gum Giant this early in the game, but you never know. Now I'm debating on how I want to handle this turn. I might just swing 7 into lead with leader and then maybe play down the Jesus Burgess or establish a Laboon. Either way, that doesn't seem like a bad option. We will likely use our leader ability this turn just so that they can't use that Luffy Taro on play ability next turn. I haven't used my leader ability yet, and I think it's about time. 7,000 at them. They are considering whether or not to counter it, and they do not. They let it go through. They've got an awful lot of cards in hand. We're going to use our leader ability just so we don't forget, and then we're going to play down a Jesus Burgess that gets plus 1,000 power because we have at least 4 cards in our trash. For those that don't know, that character cannot be KO'd by effects, and then he also gets plus 1,000 for every 4 cards in your trash, which by the end of the game he gets really strong. They'll just play out the Luffy Taro without using his ability because they can't. Swing 7 at me with Zoro Joro. I'll take that. And then 6,000 at me with their leader, and I will give them the 2k. We are going to be at 8 Don. Not quite enough to play out the 10-drop Blackbeard yet, but I think we have some interesting options here. While I'm still considering what I want to do this turn, I think I'm just going to use my leader's ability already just so I don't forget. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens to you at locals where you're playing a Blackbeard and they pass it to you and they forget that they didn't use their leader ability. I'm thinking that we try to get rid of the Luffy Taro here. Unfortunately, I might not be able to get rid of the Zoro Joro. Getting rid of the Luffy Taro I could do by playing Laboon and Black Hole. I think I like that combination. We'll start off with 6,000 with Jesus Burgess into Zoro Juro. I really hope they give it to me, but I doubt they will. They've got a ton of cards in hand and it only require a 1k counter. They give me the 1k with Sanji, and that is unfortunate. Now we'll just do 5,000 into their leader. They will probably give me a counter for this one as well. I don't imagine they'll happily go down to 1 life when they could easily just give me a 1k. They give me the Onami, fair enough. Now it's time for Laboon. We're going to rest Laboon, -4 from Luffy Taro, and then hit him with the Black Hole. If you plan on playing Blackbeard, I hope you got your Laboons already because they went up like crazy. Basically, any good EBO1 card has gone up in value a lot, and it's kind of unfortunate that they probably won't be reprinted, at least in mass. We might get reprints in like tournament packs and smaller event packs, but it doesn't seem like we'll get much more EBO1 stock anytime soon. For 4 Don, they're going to Don up on Zoro Juro. I imagine they're just going to swing big into my Jesus Burgess before it gets too strong, and gotta let it go, unfortunately. They're at 6 Don. What could they still do for 6 Don? Maybe play out the Eustace Captain Kid blocker and leave a Don up for Gum Gum Giant. Their on-play effects are negated, so that's probably throwing them off as well. 5,000 at Laboon with their Law, and I'm surprised I let that go. I guess I let it go just because I knew they were just going to swing into it with their leader anyway. But that feels bad. I wish that Laboon could have stayed on, especially because it was a small swing from a searcher. But yeah, I mean, they were just going to get rid of it with their leader anyway, so I do not regret my decision. For 10 Don, we're going to play our first Blackbeard and prevent their Zoro Juro from attacking next turn. I am going to use our stage to cycle our hand a little bit. I'm going to take a stronger 2k, which I think is a good find, and then we're going to swing 5,000 into their Law just to be really safe about next turn. I am also going to use my leader ability and trash a card from my hand. It feels bad getting rid of a 2k, but I think getting rid of a 2k here is the move. That 4-cost Black Hole event could be really useful. We're in a pretty good spot. I could see them dropping the 9-drop, which they do. It does have an on-play effect, so at least it does not have Rush. They're going to swing 5,000 into my leader, but I can just free block that with my Blackbeard. Now I've got a decision to make whether or not I want to swing with my 10-drop Blackbeard. I think swinging with Blackbeard is the move. I am doing a little calculation here between Van Augur, Sasaki, Stronger, and then my 4-cost Black Hole. If I would even be able to actually remove that 9-drop Secret Rare Luffy, that would be a pretty interesting play. But I think at the end of the day, when in doubt, you just go 10-cost Blackbeard. We're going to prevent the 9-cost Luffy from attacking next turn. We're going to do a cycle with Onigashima Island. Not Onigashima Island. Oh my god. Hachinosu. We are going to take the Dock Q, and then we are just going to swing 5,000 into their life. I think here we should also swing with our second Blackbeard as well. I think that is reasonable. Maybe I don't, though. I guess I will. 12,000 into their life. They will likely have to use their Gum Gum Giant if they have it, or maybe they'll just take it. Yes, I can see in the future, folks, they do use their Gum Gum Giant. They're going to trash a Charlotte Linlin, which would not get much value because it did not have its on-play effect. And then they're also going to give me a 2k Sanji blocker, which is good. Love to see a 2k out of hand. And then an Uso Hachi. Now we are going to trash a card from our hand to use our leader ability. We are going to get rid of the Dock Q. Let me know if you would have done the same in the comments down below. I'm interested to hear what your decision would be. Of course, I would like more counter in my hand, so it does not feel great keeping the event, but the event could be useful next turn. For example, with the Bond Clay would be a great target to hit with the event, just because that Bond Clay is going to be able to copy one of my Blackbeard's powers, and I do not want that Bond Clay to do that. So 6,000 at me. I am going to take this, which was a little bit risky. I think 2K'ing out of that may have been the better decision. But we do get lucky with a finger pistol trigger, so we can just KO the Bon Clay. That feels bad for my opponent. I just know it. Now, I do not have another 10-drop to play, so I am going to consider what my options are. I would probably win if I just swing big with both my 10-drops and then my leader. I think that might be the move here. Just to weigh all my options first, I am going to use Hachinosu stage. I'm going to trash the stronger 2K and get the Lafitte. The Lafitte does potentially help me draw cards. I'm still not sure what I want to do with this turn yet, though. I really think that in hindsight, I should have just went all in if I didn't have another 10 cost Blackbeard to play. And I think that's what I'm going to decide to do. Going to start off with 12,000 into their life. They would need to have all 2Ks in their hand to get out of this, which I imagine they do not. They're going to take that hit. I'm definitely being a little bit dramatic here, but just hear me out. I'm going to swing 11 with my leader first. The reason I'm doing that is because if they're able to get out of this, then I would use the Liberation to get rid of their Zoro Joro, but they're not able to get out of the 11,000 attack, and so now I can go 16 with a 10 cost, and that's GG's. I definitely made that one way more complicated than it needed to be at the end. I think I just need to keep it simple, stupid, and swing big with big bodies. It is literally that simple. A child could understand it. So sometimes you get in your own head. Sometimes you overthink things, or maybe sometimes you don't. Maybe it's just me. I am the only overthinker in the One Piece TCG community. We're going to start off with the event search and get a 10 drop. A Blackbeard, we love to see that early. I'm debating on whether or not to play out the Hachinosu or the Sasaki. I think I should play out the Hachinosu. I hate that you go down in card advantage with it, but it really is so good to filter your cards and get what you need for the upcoming turns. Using that, I am able to find a Jesus Burgess. I did have to get rid of a 2K, but the Jesus Burgess will be a very nice play next turn. They will use their leader ability to get up to 4 Don. Hopefully they have a 4 cost character to play this turn, unlike last game where they did not. They are going to start off with another Law Search. I wonder if they just were looking for something else or what they have planned. They do find the Zoro Joro off the Law. It's a shame they weren't able to develop another 4 cost 6,000 power body, because I imagine that's the ideal play. 5,000 at us with one of their Laws. I think we just take this, get some cards in hand. I don't think it's a big deal. We get the stage, which is actually perfectly fine, because even when we get a card we don't really need, we can just filter it out with the stage. So happy to have that. And we might be a little crazy, but we're going to take that hit from their leader too, just because we're trying to get as many cards in hand as possible so that we can use our leader ability and not feel bad about it, not go low with cards in hand. We're going to start off with 5,000 from leader. They'll give us the 1K Onami blocker, and then we'll just play out the Jesus Burgess. Nothing too crazy there. We are going to use leader ability, trash the 2K counter Shiryu. What a bad problem to have where you have to trash your 2K for leader ability. I definitely think it was worth it, though, because they would be able to Luffy Taro right here. Instead, they'll use leader ability still, but they'll just be able to play out the Sangoro, and then they're going to swing 7,000 at me. It might be a little bit risky of me to just keep taking these swings, but I am going to take that swing. We get the 4 cost Black Hole, which is a good card to find. We do have a lot of counter, so I'm not really that scared of whatever they have planned. I'm thinking now I could either do Stronger or Sasaki to lower the cost of the Sangoro and then hit them with the 4 cost Black Hole. Before I do anything else though, I will use the stage, search up some more cards, and hopefully just dig deeper into my deck, filter my hand a little bit. Ideally we'd find the 10 cost Blackbeard, but I'll take the Jesus Burgess as well. Who knows, maybe I'll even play it out this turn. We are going to go with the Sasaki and rest Don, rest him, and then lower the cost of Sangoro. Really, I should be doing that after I already do my swings, so that sequencing is not correct. Just because I would rather my opponent not know what I was going to do with all my Don while I'm swinging into their life. That would just have to make them think about what could they possibly do, you know, not 100% sure. But the fact that I used up all my Don before I swing gives them a chance to be like, okay, I know what their plan is. I know they're not going to develop any other scary big bodies. I will counter out of these, or I will take these, you know. I don't know if I did a great job of explaining that, but it's good to do things in the proper order, and I don't think I just did. They're going to start off their turn by doing 2,000 at Sasaki with one of their Laws, and I will just let that go. They're going to have 9 Don now, and they cannot use on-play effects still. They're just going to go big into my Jesus Burgess probably. I don't know that yet, but I assume they will, like they did last game. 13,000 in Jesus Burgess. I Would I be able to save that? It doesn't even matter. We're at 8,000 now. 8,000. We're at 8 Don now. Well, it's getting late in the night, ladies and gentlemen. If you've made it this far, you are a real one. Let me know in the comments down below. We're at 8 Don. We're going to start off by using our stage, cycling our hand a bit. I think that in hindsight, maybe I would have taken the Lafitte, but the Doc Q isn't bad either. We'll do a 5,000 swing with leader, and then we're going to be able to establish not just a Laboon. We're also going to be able to establish a Jesus Burgess. Those are going to be two good bodies for next turn. The Laboon can be a great swing, or I can use it for cost reduction. Right there, I trash the Doc Q with my leader ability to prevent them from using on-play abilities, but I think in hindsight, I would have preferred getting rid of the Stronger. The Stronger is a 2K, but the Doc Q could combo nicely with the Laboon. 5,000 at me with their leader. They did end up playing the 9-cost Luffy and just not using his rush because they couldn't. And this 5,000, I feel like I should probably counter out of it. Let me know what you would do in the comments down below. I always appreciate your feedback and hearing what your thought process is. We'll give them the 2K. Going down to 2 cards in hand isn't great, but one of those is a 10-cost Blackbeard, and that will put their 9-cost Luffy offline for this next turn. First, we're going to do a search with Hachinosu, just looking for another 10-cost Blackbeard, really. We do give them the Stronger to do that search. We get the Liberation, aka Black Hole event, which could be helpful. I guess it could get rid of a Nami blocker, which would be nice. Now we're going to play down the 10-cost Blackbeard and just start swinging to their leader. 5,000 with our leader. They might counter out of this. They got a ton of cards in hand. Our Jesus Burgess is powered up to 8,000, which is crazy. Now we're going to do a 5,000 swing with Laboon. They will probably counter out of this as well, and then take the Jesus Burgess swing or use Gum Gum Giant. Yes, they give us the 2K for Laboon. I'm also happy to take those counter cards out of their hand and dwindle their hand size. They will use the Gum Gum Giant for our 8,000 swing with Jesus Burgess, get some out of that, and then we are going to use our leader ability and trash the Sasaki 2K. Maybe I should have kept the 2K, but I think we're in a good position for next turn. Possibly. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. They're going to start off by giving 2 Don to their leader and swing 7 at the Laboon. I think I am good to just free block that with Teach. And now they might throw down another 7-cost body, leave a Don up, or they're going to be a little crazy and add Don to their Laws, swing 5,000 into the Laboon. I will give them that. They've got 5 Don left to work with. We could see a blocker here. And we see the Zoro Joro, which did it find anything? It did not, because their abilities were offline. It's easy to forget when you're playing Blackbeard. There's so much stuff going on. We're going to start off with 9,000 into their life with Jesus Burgess. It's crazy that that 4-cost character is now up to 9,000 power and only getting stronger. I'm debating here of whether or not I want to swing with our other Blackbeard, just because I did draw another one, and so I am feeling a little bit more confident at the end of this game now that we're going to have it locked down, basically. I think I should just start with a 5,000 swing from leader. I do not think I need to start with a 12,000 swing. I realize this when I'm about to do that, and I'm like, wait a second, let's do the 5,000 swing first, see what they give me. Maybe I don't even swing with the 10-cost Blackbeard, just because you never know. They do have a couple different characters, so they might just be able to use numbers and get around the blockers. They will counter out of my 5,000 swing. I think that the right play here is just to play the other 10 drop and leave them both standing upright. My opponent's like, what the heck, of course you have another one. And I do decide to use the stage just to look for some counter. We will take the Lafitte. It also might be useful for next turn. And then I do decide to actually just trash the Lafitte for my leader ability so that they can't use any on-play rush abilities. They'll play down the Onami, which is a very good play for them right now. Do a little card draw and cycle. Develop a blocker. I think that I should be able to go all in this next turn. If they put all 6 Don on Zoro Joro and swing into the Jesus Burgess, they will get that. I'll have to give it to them. They also could hypothetically math me out, potentially, not potentially. They do have 4 swings still available. They could do 5 with Law, 5 with Law, 5 with Monkey D. Luffy, and 6 with Zoro Joro. They would just have to hope that I do not have any counter from my life. They are going to do what I theorized and give 6 Stan to Zoro Joro and clear the Jesus Burgess. I have a lapse of mental capacity and block with my Blackbeard 10 drop for some reason, which makes absolutely no sense. We need a little like misplay alarm soundboard that I have for the channel for when this happens. Now they're just going to swing 5,000 into me. I guess I will just block with Teach, but it does not matter, you know. I told him in the chat, like, hey, I don't think that made sense for me. Why the heck would I trash a Teach 12,000 for a Jesus Burgess? But it does not matter. We have game here. And just to add insult to injury, we did top deck another 10 cost Blackbeard. I think dropping another one would kill this opponent's sweetheart, just being too ridiculous. So I think that we should just go big here, and they concede because they had nothing else to do. GG's though, a very interesting matchup. I think that if Blackbeard can establish a decent sized hand, it is Blackbeard favored. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the games I got for you today. What did you think about them? I've been having a lot of fun with this leader. Have you given him a shot yet, or are you anti-Blackbeard? I gotta say, if you're anti-Blackbeard, I can't blame you. 1, because of his personality in the manga, and 2, just because his personality in the card game. They really did a good job of making him unlikable as a character in the game. If there's any other leaders you want me to play, let me know in the comments down below. If you've made it this far, you are an absolute real one. Shout out to you. Maybe consider giving me a subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, but if you made it this far and you're not subscribed, I'd be surprised. Thank you to Kunai Threads for sponsoring this video. Check out their link in the bottom description, and that's all I got for you today. Peace. Don't forget to subscribe.